This is a fantastic question. So let me show you why I don't start on needle number 1. So here's my needle number 1. I'm in panel mode on my Sentro, and I'm going to do the standard cast on. And I'm going to cast on all the way around, going over and under each needle until I get to my 48th needle, which is my white needle on my machine. Now you're going to see once I get to my white needle, I hook it on, I put it down into my yarn holder, and it does hook around my needle. I have to help it out a little bit, but when I get back to my starting needles, number 1, 2, and 3, you're going to see it fall off the needles like that, and only needle number 3 is now hooked on, and it's a little bit loose since that yarn fell off, but that's okay. We can work with that tension. When I go back around to try to go to my 48th needle, it also just comes off that needle and I can't go any further. So now I'm back onto my 47th needle, and I have this kind of long little curly doodad at the end. So I don't care for that because of tension reasons. So you can do it if you do the waist yarn cast on. It's not as big of a deal, but I just seem to run into issues this way. So let's try it one more time just to make sure I did my cast on correctly. So I'm going to cast on my number 1 needle. I hook it on my number 1 needle, and now I'm going over and under each needle till I get back to my white needle, which is my number 48 needle marked on my machine. So we get back, I have it hooked under the needle, get it back down into the yarn holder, into the tension bar. Now I'm going to start, and see I can't go over super far, so I still can't hook that 48th needle. Now I'm on my 47th needle because it doesn't go over that peg. It does that double knit at your starting and stopping needles, that's what I call it, and it still goes off your first and second needle and only catches the third. So I'm still only getting my 47th needle hooked and my third needle. So now let's start the cast on at our 48th needle. I'm going to remove this yarn, and I'll show you how to make the largest panel possible on the 48 needle circular knitting machine. So now let's start it at my white needle, which is my 48th needle. This way is going to work to give you the largest panel only. I would just call it a little bit more an advanced panel mode than the tutorial I did previous to this that I will link in the description. So I'm doing a regular cast on, going over and under each needle till I get back around. But again, you're going to notice when I get back to here, I'm on my 47th needle here. I'm going to hook it here. And this part's going to work. I can go around the peg and back down, so it's hooked on to my 47th needle. But when I go back to my starting point, the yarn falls off. It's only, and I can't go any further. And so it's only going to hook on that third needle. So that's why I just skip that step of having that yarn fall off, because it kind of messes with the tension a little bit. And I just start my cast on with my third needle. But I am going to be able to go all the way around to my 47th needle. But let me show you what happens, which is why I usually don't go to my 47th needle. When I get to my 47th needle, that third needle kind of comes up a little bit. And if you are going kind of too fast, it can pop off that yarn off of that needle, and you're going to get a drop stitch. So you definitely can do it this way, where you're using your third up to your 47th needle to get one extra row to make it slightly wider of a panel than the tutorial I did before this. But you just have to be a little bit careful, and you still have to help out the yarn a little bit around the third needle and around that 47th needle. So no matter how you cast on, you're never going to be able to use the 48th needle, the first or second needle. So that's why in my other tutorial that I do for beginners, I like starting at my third needle and going to my 46th needle, because you're just not gonna have that needle come up on your ends where it could pop off of the machine and do a drop stitch. Because I've never been able to successfully fix a drop stitch the way the machine does that knit stitch on that beginning and ending needle. I'm calling it a double knit because it does a regular knit stitch, then kind of a side knit stitch to make the sides of your panel. So, but this way can definitely work if you want to get one more row for the largest panel possible. You'll just use your third needle and go to your 47th needle, but just go slow and really watch that starting and ending needle so your stitches don't pop off and you don't drop your stitch, but it definitely can work. Thank you so much for the great question. Don't forget to hit that like and follow button for more free tutorials and projects. Happy crafting, everybody.